Okay, welcome to this short tutorial on how to create your own mod in my winter car. This tutorial is based on the mod loader I created, my winter car loader. Um, so you need that to create the mod in this video. This mod will be a short, just a short guide on how you can use the framework. And it will add money, and we will do a little bit of UI stuff, but just not much. I just want to show you how to get into modding. Okay, first of all, we need to enable something in our Windows settings to create mods for my winter car. Because this game is so old, you need to enable a legacy feature in the Windows settings to be able to use the framework, the .NET framework. So you press the Windows key and you type in um, Windows features. Oh, and there's Windows features enable or deactivate. I don't know. My PC is on German, so I don't know exactly, but it should be something like Windows features enable or disable, something like that. Open it, and this little window will pop up, and there's like .NET Framework 3.5, and you just press this check here, so it's blue, and that's it. You can now just press OK, and your PC will now be able to create apps or class libraries with this old framework. Yes. So now we need our IDE. Normally I use Rider, but Rider you need a license, and I have my license from work, so I can't use that in this tutorial. We will use the more streamlined IDE called Visual Studio. Not Visual Studio Code, there's a big difference. Visual Studio is like for creating class libraries and like stuff that uses mostly C language, programming language, and Visual Studio Code is just a beautiful text editor, but not a full-on IDE that can compile code. It can, but you need to like add plugins, yada yada. Okay, I use Visual Studio 2022. I don't know if you still can get this online, but any Visual Studio version is fine. You can use the latest. I know there's 2026. I wanted to download it before the video, but Microsoft just wouldn't let me, so I will use the version I have on my PC, Visual Studio 2022. And you will need some files from Nexus Mods. You go on my Winter Car Loader page and then press on Files, and down here, Optional Files, Visual Studio 2022 Coding Template. I don't know if this works in Visual Studio 2026, but I think it does. So just press Manual Download and then drag the zip on your desktop, and I will do this off screen. Okay, no, it's fine. You open your file browser, go to Documents, so File Browser Documents, and then Visual Studio 2022 after you install Visual Studio, and then go to Templates and then Project Templates. It should be an empty folder, or you have already something in here, but it's fine. Just drag the zip file into here. Open it again to make sure our files are there. Yeah, 5 files: assembly info, manifest, mod entry, my winter car project, CS project, and the template file. Just let it sit here, close this Explorer window, and now we can open Visual Studio. Visual Studio will launch, and you will be greeted with this little window. Just press on Create New Project, the bottom one of those, and a window will appear, and now it should on the top be my winter car mod. You can just search for it if it isn't it on the top for you, but it should be my winter car mod. Template for creating mods for my winter car using my winter car loader. Very easy. Just press continue, and now give it a catchy name. Wait, I have to look something up real quick. but it's fine. Okay, yeah. We will just, because we will sponsor money, we will call it my money mod. Very easy. Yeah, just here's your path, and it's all fine. Just pick a name and then create. We will wait, and now we will have our mod entry file. You can see a lot of red, and that is because of the dependencies we will need to, or the references. We will need to reference the game files and the loader files in order to use their functions. So we will just, on the left here, we will have references. We'll right click and press the top one, add reference, or whatever it is in English. Add reference, and I already tried it, so they're the references for me, but you won't have these. Maybe I can delete them here. It should look like this for you, and you will click on search or explore. I don't know the term in English. Again, I'm sorry. And now you will need to navigate to your game files. I don't know where your game files are, but you can find it out really quickly. Go into Steam, right click My Winter Car, go to Manage and browse local files, and is my, what the fuck? Okay, very weird. This is my game files. They opened very weirdly on my other screen. I don't know. They showed a completely wrong folder. I will open it again, and there it is. And just press on the box here, copy the path, and paste it in here. And now you're in your game files. We need to add references to 3 different files. The first one is the loader. Just open my winter car loader. The loader has to be installed, by the way. So open my winter car loader and select the DLL file. And it doesn't find it, and I don't know why, because it is there. I think it's because I already referenced it, but I can't. Maybe this will help. Okay, again, we will go into our game files and add the loader. Okay, because I already referenced it, it didn't work, but this problem shouldn't be an issue for you. Just reference it and make sure this checkbox is checked here. By the way, if you don't know how to install the loader, I have a video up on my channel how to install a mod with the loader, so you will know how to install a loader when you watch this video. Okay, now we will search again through our files, go one folder up into the game files again, and then go into my wintercar underscore data, then into managed, and now we will need to reference 3 different files. We will click on assembly, C#, then we will scroll down, hold Control, and also reference unityengine.dll, unityengine.ui.dll, and I forgot, we also need to reference playmaker.dll. These 4 in this folder: assembly, playmaker, Unity Engine, and Unity Engine.ui. Not assembly C# first pass without the first pass. Yeah, these 4. Just add them, and if they're added like this, you can press OK, and now you can see the errors should start to fade away. Okay, this is old code. This won't be here if you download the mod the template fresh. I will remove it after this video. It should look like this. Okay, and now you will need one more step in the references tab over here. You need to select all of the files. You do that by pressing on the first one, then holding shift and press on the last one. And over here on the right side, you will see a tab opened, and there's a parameter called local copy. Local copy has a gray box next to it. We want to click on that gray box press on the drop down and click on false. Very important. Okay, now we have that all set. We can save with Ctrl S, and now we have our template mod. But this mod does nothing except for when you press the keybind M, it will say key pressed in the console. But we don't want to have stuff in the console, and we don't want to just print a log output, and it's very, very boring. So we will remove this part right now, and we will focus on what is in this file. We can see in awake, in start, update on GUI, and then two custom functions I created on main menu loaded and on game scene loaded. Awake will start whenever the object is created. Start will start when Unity engine say, okay, it's your turn to start. Update will call every frame. So if you write something in here, intense code, it will just lag your game. On GUI is the function for GUI stuff. So if you want to draw text on your display, you put it in here. And these two functions do what they say. If the main menu is loaded, this will run. If the game scene is loaded, this will run. And we don't want to do anything in the main menu, so we can delete that. And we don't need awake and start, because we want our code to start when the game scene loaded. So when we are in game. So we can delete those two. And now we have these three functions. I will put this on top because I like my starting function on top. Okay. Now we will create the function to add money. And this will be a bit more in depth to specifically to my winter car and its way on how it handles events and functions, because my winter car is built with a finite state machine. If you don't know what that is, I can Google it real quick. It's just the game is programmed to like think in graphics. Normally when you code, you have like code like we will do, but the creator of the game used a plugin called Playmaker to create his events and all his functions in this finite state machine. So he can just graphically drag along with arrows and stuff and say, okay, if this function calls, then we will drag an arrow to this function. And it's very, very easy way to code, but we can't use that when making mods, so we won't use it. We will use the code version of finite state machines. We will just take his functions and hijack them. So we will create our first function or void. We will call it private void and just add money. Very, very simple. So we will know what this function does. It will add money. Okay. Now we will have to define the global variables. The global variables are variables in the game that store many things like money. And they're global, as I said. So every you can access them from anywhere. You don't need to go into any object. It's just there. You can just look up these variables. So we will create a variable called globals. I can't type. Okay, globals, and this is very proprietary. FSM and then variables dot and then global variables. Now this function houses every global variable that is in the game, and it's constantly updating. If we call it in update, but we won't. We will, but later. It doesn't matter. So now we have the globals stored, but we don't know if the globals are really really have an instance. So if they don't exist, we have to check, or the game will crash when we call add money and the globals doesn't exist. The game won't crash, the mod will crash. But you get what I mean. So if globals is not null, this is how we check if globals are empty or not. Unity allows that you're just type if globals, but we will do it the old-fashioned way. If globals are not null, or yeah, we will do it this way. Okay, and now we know the globals are real and we can use them, so we will take the money variable out of it. So we type var money variable, and this we will take out of our globals that we defined, dot, and then find globals. I can't, it's too late for me. Find FSM, and then I know money is a float, but you have to check it for yourself. But find FSM float, and this variable is called player money. So now we have our money stored in a variable called money var. Okay, but we still need to check if money var is empty or not. If it's just not created, we can't use it. So we will, I hate Visual Studio. We will make a null check again, and then if it's not null, so we know you can use it, we can just manipulate it wherever you want. So we take money var again and just add a value to it. We can just, if we just equals to money var dot value, sorry, and if it's if we set it to 0, add money will always put the money to 0. We don't want this to happen. We want to add money. We don't want to set it. So we type plus and then equal, and then the amount we want to set. Plus equal means we take the original value and add the value behind it to it. So we will 69,420, for example, but this is a float, so we will type an F behind it. And now we changed our money, or we added money. Okay. But now we need to include the logic for creating the keybind. We want to create the keybind, so we can just press a key and add money. Very easy. So up here we have like this example config and keybind that the template created. We will rename it to underscore money key. This is just a config entry from my loader, and it takes a keybind, and we just call it money key. Okay. Now that we have that out of the way, we have to put a real keybind on the variable. So we go into our loading or starting scene, the scene that we want the function to start functioning. So we take our money key, and we equal that, and the money key will be a config dot bind because it's a keybind, and now we have to create a category. You can see section, key, then the key code, and blah blah, all the different parameters the bind function takes. We take a bind, we call it general, or we can call it keybinds. Doesn't matter. Keybinds, and then it does matter how it's like sectioned in the file, but for the tutorial we will call it keybind, so it will be in the keybind section for us, but it's just a name. You can call it whatever you want. Then the name of the key, so we will call it add money. And now we have to create a new keybind. So we will type new keybind, and this new keybind can be any key code that Unity provides. Keycode.m for money. And we can even add, you can see Control, Shift, Alt. We can say, okay, we want the control modifiers, so we can say control true, or just say true, And now we have to press Control plus M to add money. Okay, and then in description, we want press this key to add money to the player. Easy peasy. Now we have our key created. Very easy. And now we can just theoretically can go in game and press Control M, but nothing will happen because we just created the add money variable, but we didn't use it. To use it, we have to go into the update function. So the update function calls every frame, so we want to check every frame if the keybind is pressed. And if it's pressed, we want to add money. Very easy. So we type if, and then we type money key dot value dot is down. So we check the value is like a Unity keybind, and you can check if it is pressed, so if it's down. And when it's down pressed, we can just say add money. And now we could go into the game and test it, and it would give us money every time we press Control M. But I wanted to make it a little more interesting, and I wanted to use the onGUI function to show you what the interface can do. So we will create a little label on the top left. Every time we press the money key, a little text notification will pop up saying added money, and it will disappear after 2 seconds. Okay, so we will create more variables up here. First of all, we will create a boolean, private bool show label. So the code knows if the label should be is shown or not. And then private float, and we call it display timer. And this is just a number that will count down. Yeah, and if it hits 0, then the label will be shown. Okay, but it's already 0, so we have, wait, yeah, we have to do some little tricks. First of all, we need to add the logic if the label is shown that we need to count down. So it's very easy. We if shown label, and then we so if the label is shown, then we can count down the display timer. So it's display timer minus equals und dann time dot delta time. It's just time. Data time is just, it counts down every millisecond, so we will count down this variable every millisecond, every frame. The time is just the time, how long the program runs, and we will subtract that from that. I'm too tired. I'm sorry if I explain very weird. Just follow the steps. I try to explain it as much as I can, but I'm just too exhausted from the day. But I will continue. Display timer is being counted down, and if the display timer is smaller or equals to 0, then we will stop showing the label. So if the display timer hits 0 or goes even below 0, like minus 0.1 or something, we don't do this, because if in one frame calls one frame will be called more, and the timer will add like less value to the display timer, then this won't work. We have to call smaller than 0. Okay, I hope this is somewhat clear. Okay, now we have the logic that the if the label is active, we can count down and hide the label again. But we're never showing the label, and we're never like creating the display timer or setting up to a value that we want. So we will go into our add money function again, and below where we added our money, we will add show labeled like equals true. I'm just mixing German and English right now. I can't. Okay, and display timer equals to float. So this basically means, okay, we want to show the label in the top left, and okay, we want to show it for 2 seconds. That's these two variables. And now if we go through the logic steps, we show the label, we put it to 2. Next frame gets called, oh, label is shown, we count it down, boom, 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 boom. Now the display timer is at 0 again, and we hide the label. Easy. Now all we need is the GUI. Okay, very easy. We start with if label shown, show label. So if the label is really active and we can see it, we want to draw it on the screen. And now we want to, we can just make a very simple label, or we can style the label. And I want to make a style just to show you what is possible. So we create a new style. It's called GUI style, and we call it just style. And it's a new GUI style, and it's type of GUI.skin.label. We want to inherit the label parameters, the label functions in this style, so we can apply it to another label later. If we use other skins like an image, we will not have like font size or text or something, you know, just very simple stuff. Now we want to style.font size, and we want to increase the font size 24, I guess. I don't know. We will see if it's too big. Then we will put another color, so style dot normal dot text color, and we'll put it to color dot green because we get money. It's green, easy. And lastly, we want to make it bold so we can really make it pop. So style dot font size, and yeah, not font size. I'm sorry, font style. Doesn't font weight? Nee, font style. And we want font style dot bold. And now we have the style variable that is 24 big, has color green, and is bold. So we can apply it to a label that we will draw now. We draw this label by typing GUI.label. Very, very cool. And we want to, the first parameters is where this, see rect position. And you can, rect means rectangle, just short. And the screen is rectangle, so we have coordinates. The first two coordinates are how, wait, I can just new rect, okay. And this will take 4 values for us. So we will take the coordinates for the x and y. It's 20, I will just say 2020, I don't know. And then how long and tall it is. I don't know, 400 for length and 50 height, I don't know. We will see if it works, it's just freestyling. Now we will add the content, so the text, and we want added money. And now it could work, but we created our style, so we can just another comma and pass our style. Yeah, and that's basically it. We want to compile this now. So we go up here to create, or you can just right click on the project folder and press create. I don't know if it's created in English, but I will just press it. And you can see it compiled perfectly, no errors, no warnings, no nothing. And you can see the path. For me, it's in users, alias, source, repos, then my money mod, bin, debug, my money mod. I will go there. I have it already open. Yeah. So this is my source, repos, my money mod. You can see my money mod. Now we are here. Then bin, debug, and there's our DLL. You can also see it created a manifest.json, and we want this to wait. We can edit it here. I'm sorry. We will go back one step. Ah, no, it's already fine. The manifest.json will create with the project folder name. So you can see my money mod here, and you can see my money mod here. So we can edit the author. It's KSS. It's version 1.0, whatever. And you can paste a Nexus mod link. This is very important because the loader will take this version right here and compare to the version of the Nexus mod link you put in. So if I go to my mods page, give me a sec. This is my mod, and if I copy this link, I can put it in here, and the loader would check against this link and see, oh, my mod is at version 1.4.8 and I'm at version 1.0.0. I need to update. But just add your own link if you ever plan to release this mod. You can just leave it blank and nothing will happen. Yeah. But now we will recompile again, so we will just compile again. And now we will have our manifest with KSS. Okay. Now we will have these two files, and we want to open our game files separately. So we go my winter account Steam, manage, browse files, open this, go into the mods folder, create a new folder, call it whatever you want, my money mod test, for example, and then we will drag the manifest.json and the my money mod DLL, not the other file, the my money mod.pdb, pbd, I'm sorry, just the upper two files. Just drag them in there and you're good to go. Very easy. So we go in game now. We let it load for a bit, and I can tell you about the other loader features in the meantime. This is the deployment feature is very easy. You can just create a folder. The folder name doesn't matter. Just these two files matter. The manifest tells the loader where you who you are and what your Nexus mod link is, but you don't need it. It's not necessary. You can just put the DLL into a folder, or you can just put the DLL into the mods folder. You can put it anywhere. Yeah, basically. So I will open the game now. Wait, this is way too small of a resolution. There's something else to tell you. Let me think. I think that's it. Wait, we can go to these variables again. Yeah, okay. The first one is your author and your unique ID of the mod. I just forgot to replace your name, but you can put your name into, you should put your name into it. It's a unique ID, so your name and then the mod name again, and then the version. Yeah. You should put this into, but for the updater it's not relevant. Okay, I'm back after a short break. I wanted to verify something with the code. I wondered why no config file was created, but I forgot that I create the keybind in the scene loading. So the config file will, if you, I launched the game and I saw no config file was there, so I couldn't configure it. So I wondered, why couldn't I configure it? But it's because I put the binds, or I create the binds when the scene is loaded. But but the config file only first creates when the first bind go here into mods, you can see no configure button. But if we go into game now, take a sip. My mouth is really dry. Okay, we are now in the game. And we can press our keybind, control, and
kyllä
M, and see added money,
Mene säkin
and you
kotiin.
can see my
Vitun
cash
mulkku.
is going up.
Painu helvettiin.
So our mod
Haista
is
vittu.
working
Painu
fine.
vittu, saatana.
Yeah. And now if you go back to the menu, it should have our configure button. Yay, and now we can see our money keybind. We can put it to whatever we want. Okay, it's not a good keybind as my other one. A lot of space, but I want to showcase you can press any key like Control or Shift to create modifiers. Okay, that's it for this tutorial. I hope you understood what I said with my very bad English and my very exhausted speech. But if you have any questions, you can just write me a direct message on Nexus Mods or on Discord, or just use the comment section. And I'm very eager to see your creations. If you want to create this is just a normal Unity. Just for clarification, this mod loader can do anything. It can load files, game objects, anything into the game that you create with Unity asset. What was it called? Asset builder, asset bundles, exactly. You can load asset bundles into here and load real like 3D objects you created into the game and stuff. So there's really no limit. You just have to look how you can load asset bundles into Unity, because this is just a Unity object. It's yeah, nothing special. But I hope you enjoyed this, and yeah, I hope you learned something, and see you maybe in the next tutorial.